Hello, this is the Wellbeing Centre and Tweni Pottery again, and today I'm going to explain and demonstrate the kit that we have for handprints. So the kit comes in a plastic bag and before I start that, I just mentioned on the surface of the table I put, this is white paper, but you can use newspaper just to keep your surface protected. Open the first bag and we have two pieces of cardboard, one on top and one underneath, just to keep the slab of clay flat. So let's take that out, and then inside this bag is the slab of clay protected with newspaper. The reason we use newspaper is because clay doesn't stick to newspaper or things that are porous, but it does stick badly to plastic, so that's why we use newspaper and the plastic. As long as the clay is inside the plastic bag, it will stay soft for months, but as soon as it comes out of the bag, it will slowly start to dry. So you receive that in the bag. Take off the top layer of newspaper, and then the first thing we need to do is make sure the surface is nice and smooth. So we've got I suggest you take an old store card or credit card and use that just to scrape the surface. Not too shallow, not too steep, but just at a certain angle. You'll find that as you wipe, it scrapes off the little bit of clay from the surface. You can see the clay on the surface. And doing that, it removes all of the little cracks and imperfections from the surface, because while it's been sitting in the newspaper and transported, it's going to have had some marks. So we've got a nice smooth surface. Wipe off that bit of clay again. If you do find a little imperfection or hole, you can use a little piece of that clay we just wiped off, put it into the hole, and then rub over again, just until you get a nice smooth surface ready for your handprint. So there we are, ready for the next stage. Now, this is a small piece of clay which is normally used for little children. For adults we will have a piece which is twice this size. But I'm using this demonstration today, I'm using the child size small piece just to show how this is done. Now, in the kit we also have some black pigment in a plastic bag. And this is to put onto your hand, the hand that's going to be imprinted, onto the clay, to leave a nice surface texture of the hand, so you can see the texture, because it's going to be finally white, a natural white clay colour with glaze on. And if you just push your hand in, it's not, the handprint doesn't stand out as well excuse me, as if it was coloured. So what we do, we take the clay from the bag, put it into a small bowl and mix it with a bit of water. There needs to be enough water that it does, you can see it drips, and when it goes onto the hand, just make sure that the hand is wet. If you apply it and it starts to dry, it doesn't leave a mark on the clay. So make sure when you apply this on the hand, it's wet. So I would also suggest, before you do this, you get another piece of newspaper just to do the messy bit, and then you can take the newspaper away again. So I've got the sponge, you can see it's very wet, and I rub it over my whole hand that's going to be imprinted onto the clay. Make sure it's nice and wet. Take the newspaper away again, and I'm going to put my hand onto the surface. Put it on once, don't move it, and now with the other hand, or somebody else's hand, just push down into the clay to make a nice impression. And then slowly take your hand off, and there's a beautiful picture of my pretty hand. So next, let's pull that away. And before you do anything else, you need to get rid of this dirty hand. And the best way of doing that is to use soap. You will find that if you don't use soap, it's quite difficult to get everything off. But once you use some soap, then it comes off very easily. Just rub it in, and you know how to wash your hands, just wash your hands, sanitize your hands again. It's a good reason to sanitize your hands. Let's bring this clay back again so you can see it. And that's really the final impression that you'll have on the clay. But you probably want to make it personal by putting some shapes on, hearts or names, date. Here's one that I did for my granddaughter that visited recently. You can see it's just her little handprint, footprint, and her name and the year, which is going to be lovely for giving to her on her wedding day, perhaps one day. So on here, I'm not very good at drawing hearts, but we can maybe put a heart here. And then I'll just put my name over at the side. Just wipe the stick off that you're using, just to avoid these little bubbles of clay. And if you've got somebody who can do nice writing, better than me, then that's all the better. Maybe put the date. But as I said, you can write really anything you want to. Best wishes or love to somebody, etc. Okay, and if you wanted to, if you've got shapes, anything that's porous is best. Wooden or stone. Then if you want to, you can make some shapes and patterns. This is actually a twig, and you can put some patterns around the edge if you want to, but it's entirely up to you what you want to do. Maybe just leave it plain, it's nicer. So there we have my handprint. The only thing to do next is just to put the newspaper back on again. Carefully put on top. And then reverse the process of unpacking. Put the clay with the newspaper in the first bag. And don't bend it, just try and gently lift it into the bag and slide it into the bag. Just to try and avoid bending it. You don't want to smudge your handprint. Push it to the bottom of the bag. Let the air out a bit. And then again, we've got cardboard. Now the cardboard is on, now it's safe again to handle. So there we have it ready for sending back. We put that back into the other bag, just to keep it all together. And that will then come back to us for filing, to change it from a soft clay into a biscuit clay, which is like a biscuit type finish, and then we do a second firing using glaze to give a nice shiny finish, which you get on all ceramics. And then it's saved forever. That's going to last for thousands of years, as long as you don't drop it from the upstairs window. Also in the pack, please don't forget to put in your order reference number and your name, so we know this belongs to you, and then we'll contact you to let you know when it's ready for collection, either with us or at one of the collection points. Thank you very much.